Alright, here's another video. Chord extension. What's up, Kyle Pounds? How has living in the apartment benefited you as compared to living in your van? Do you miss living in your van? Well, I haven't really started. Today's like the first day, you know. I'm just kind of moving in. I've really been moving into the apartment since then, but how's it benefited me? I could stay fit better. I'll get in shape. That's my prediction. I haven't done it yet, but I predict I'll be getting in really good shape because I can just get into a rhythm living in an apartment and do the same thing every day and build up on that and have a better and better life and have everything tightly woven together. When you're living in an apartment, you're always changing your scenery, and so it's more loose. You know, you're not living as efficiently. You're not exercising as much as efficiently and all that kind of stuff. And maybe even getting stuff done. Although I got a pretty good system going together. You know, like if you live in an apartment, you have to spend more time, you know, keeping it clean and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know the answer to this so much because I haven't really lived here for very much. But do I miss living in my van? No, I don't. I don't miss doing anything other than what I'm doing right now. Also, you seem to have a lot of knowledge retained in your brain. I'm wondering what tactics and strategies you use to retain all this information. Also, what would you do if you were... God, what a random questions. Also, what would you do if you're abducted by aliens? Would you want to be abducted? Oh, wow. Expand this comment. This is all new. They didn't used to do this. Holy shit, this guy has lots of questions. Okay, I'll just read through it then. Do you even believe aliens have visited our Earth? If so, do you think they were here? Or are they still here? Did they help us become more advanced as a civilization? The last few 100 years seem to be the most technologically advancing period of human civilization. Which begs the question, why is that? Also, how much alcohol do you drink? Have you ever been an alcoholic? What do you think of anxiety disorders such as social anxiety and generalized anxiety? And do you have ever experienced any such anxiety issues in your lifetime? Thanks for listening to my questions and hope to see a reply video in the near future. You have a fantastic day, Kyle Pounds, and I can't wait for your history timeline. Well, thank you for mentioning my history fucking timeline. To be completed, I think it will be a beneficial tool. No, it won't. It will be the most fucking beneficial tool for mankind. And something we need greatly. Yes, good job. Good job. Thanks. Also, what kind of work do you prefer to do? I know you've done teaching, yard work, window washing, etc., but if you had a choice, what would you really want to do? Okay. Wow, dude, a lot of fucking questions. Is this some kind of like a psychology class or something you're on? Alright, battery's about to die. Fuck. I'll just talk until the battery dies, and then I will, and then I'll find a cord and I'll plug it in, and hopefully it'll work. Okay. Okay, so how's living in the apartment benefited you as compared to living in your van? Do you miss living in your van? Also, you seem to have a lot of knowledge retained in your brain. I'm wondering what tactics and strategies you use to retain all this information. That's a good question, dude. The tactics and strategies I use to retain information. I think the number one thing that if you want to retain information that you want to be doing, I'm looking for my cable to charge my battery, is to, I need to go to Walmart and buy one, man. They're only $2. Yeah, there's no cable here, dude. Alright, I'll just talk until the battery goes out, and then, oh, wait, what's this? Maybe there's a cable over here. Here we are, yay! Oh, wrong cable! Okay, so now I have to start all over again. I was looking for the wrong kind of cable. I need to get the video camera cable. So the first cable I saw was the correct cable. Okay. So what tactics do I use? What tactics do I use to retain information? Now I gotta plug in my computer, dude. Oh, the fucking computer's gonna die. Alright, fuck this. Alright, so I can record and charge at the same time. That's good to know. This fucking battery on this video camera lasts like 10 minutes. Okay, so now I'm good to go. Let's do this. What techniques do I use to retain all the information that's in my head? I think the first thing that you need to do if you want to have a lot of information inside of your head, like me, is to have a wide range of interests. You have to have a wide range of interests. You have to be interested in stuff. If you're not interested in it, you're not registering it. If you're not registering it in your head, you're not going to remember it, dude. Like, you have to, when information comes to you, you have to focus on it, and you have to be there with that information, and you have to absorb it. And now it's stuck to you, you know? You know, like, if you want to, like, if you want to, you know, if you want to get sugar inside of your bloodstream, you have to put the candy under your tongue and you have to let it sit there. You can't, like, touch it and then be like, ew, yucky, and then move it away, you know? So you're not going to remember any of that shit. So, you know, in this world, if people could just open their minds a little bit more and get interested, expand their minds and become interested in other cultures and other ways of looking at things and look at the other side of this and consider, you know, all the different kinds of people and different kinds of wide range of interests and everything in this world, then you're going to be able to tie all that information together, and it'll actually mean something to you. You know, like me, I was a horrible student at school. I was a D student, DF, F student, D minus, C minus, and shit. Because, like, they just give me information with no context. If you give information to somebody with no context, they're not even gonna know what information you gave them 2 seconds after you gave it to them. You know, they'll be like, "What did I just tell you?" And you'll be like, "Fucking, you got me, dude. I don't know what you just told me. I was thinking about something." Like, my brain works. You know, my brain needs exercise. I need to be thinking. If you're not going to allow me to think inside the classroom, I'm going to think anyways. And I'm not going to be here with you. I'm going to be off there, paying attention, you know, and you can be babble at me all you want. I'm not going to fucking... And that's kind of... So, you know, people who do really well in school are really stupid people who can, like, focus in on one tiny little myopic thing that the stupid teacher is saying over and over again, and then, of course, you remember what the teacher said because you were there with them. But if you're a genius like me, and you're thinking about all sorts of shit, there's no way in hell you're even gonna let you pass go at school, because you're not gonna remember a goddamn thing that they said, because it was all stupid bullshit they were saying in the first place. So, so you basically need to teach people to be interested in everything, and then they register it, you know, where they're thinking about it and they're there with it, you know. Like, if you put your keys someplace and you're thinking about something while you put your keys away, you're not gonna remember where the keys are. But if you go, and you could be high as fuck, you could be like, okay, I'm putting the keys here, this is where the keys are, and then you leave, you'll remember putting them there. And so you just have to be present with all kinds of information that you gather. You listen into a book, and you just have to be there, interested in it, and you know, be like if you're listening to a book about China, it's like, oh, here I'm in China, oh, cool, China, let me think everything of China, da da da. Instead, you know, like how people argue, like they listen to somebody think, and then they wait until they say something that they can attack, you know, and you're not listening to the guy, you're not learning anything. And so, like, if you're listening to a book about China, don't be like, oh, I hate China, oh, another reason why, whatever. Just try to get into the world of the Chinese and into the mindset of them, and then you'll be interested in stuff, and it'll stick. And then the more stuff sticks, the more stuff can stick on top of that, you know. Like, when it rains, when it snows at the very first snow of the year, the snow can fall down for like 4 hours, and it just melts when it hits the ground. But as soon as the ground gets cold enough and the snow can stick, then the snow just piles up super fast. And that's how information is. If you can get a good framework, a good base, a good foundation of knowledge that's well-rounded, that includes every culture of the world, and that it's all yours, and it's your decision, and it was all driven and controlled by you, then all the other little random information that might be seemingly totally random to a stupid person who's not interested in anything because they're only interested in the Bible and think that's the only book that's worthy of reading, you know, they're just going to see it as some stupid random piece of information. It'll just go off of them like water off a duck's back. But if you're interested in everything and you see a little thing, you can plug it into a whole lot of different data banks in your head. You can plug it into, whatever it came from. Like if it's a little tidbit about China, plug it into China, and then you can compare it to like what would its counterpart be in the West, and then what year did it come. So just try to be interested in as much different data points in something as possible. Like if you read a book, try to remember where the author grew up. Try to remember when the book was published. Remember how many chapters are in it, what the names of the chapters are. Try to create a framework in your head of information, a skeleton that's solid, that can be information that's well-rounded, that's the complete body of information, that have these these anchor points that when some like random piece of information comes, you can plug it into something, and you can build off of it. And so that's basically, and also be constantly putting information in your head. I haven't been doing it for the last couple of months because I've been high and listening to music, but be constantly listening to audiobooks, and it doesn't have to. I'm going to do a video on how to listen to audiobooks, but it doesn't. You don't have to like be focusing on it. Just have the audiobook in the background and just daydream all you want. You don't have to focus on the audiobook. Just enjoy having it as background, and then every once in a while they'll say something that you'll remember. You'll go, oh wow, that's an interesting little tidbit. And then you going, oh wow, that's an interesting tidbit. That's you latching onto that information and drilling it into your head, and you'll have it forever. And the next kind of information that has anything to do with that will stick right onto it, like a snowflake sticking onto another snowflake. It'll just latch onto it, and it'll be stuck there forever. It'll have a reference point of where to store it. You can store information in your head if you have a reference point. Like in your house. How do you know where shit is? It's because you put it in the same place every time. And so you just go to where it is. If you put something in a different place every time, you're never going to be able to know where it is. So if information comes and you just, wow, that's a fancy fact, random information, then it's not going to do you any good because you're not putting it anywhere in your head. You're just like discarding it. But if you go, oh wow, information, that has to do with this. Oh wow, it reminds me of this other information. You've just put it in that other information's little box. You've just grown a dendrite in your brain, right next to the dendrite of the thing that it's similar to, and you've organized it into a place. And so that's how you organize. That's how you retain information is by having a certain place for it in your head and being interested in as much. And see, if you're interested in a wide range of things. See, nowadays, being interested in a wide range of things, you're kind of stupid. You're just kind of like a stoner. You're like an aimless person. You can't really make money with any of that information. Sure, you could be a teacher in a school theoretically, but that's really not the kind of people who want to be teachers in schools. To be a teacher in a school, you basically have to be like a good student. Just a mindless person who takes orders and then can give orders to other people and that kind of shit. But in the future, in like 10 or 20 years, being a well-rounded person with a lot of knowledge, that's the kind of person who would actually be able to get hired as a teacher. So maybe I'll be able to get a job as a teacher when I'm 60 or 70. Okay, so I'm wondering what tactics and strategies to retain all this information. Yeah, that's another video. I'll do another video on how to listen to audiobooks. Also, what would you do if you were abducted by aliens? I'd ask them questions. I'd ask them to take me to my planet. I'd ask them if they've taken film footage of like historical events, and then I'd ask them to watch that footage, like the assassination of Caesar or the Jesus Christ preaching and this kind of stuff. I'd ask them to figure out a way to. I'd ask them for a lot of money. They'd have the technology. I'd ask them to give me a shitload of money so that I could that I could hire people to help me Do you even believe aliens have visited our Earth? I do believe that aliens have visited our Earth. I believe they're visiting our Earth now. If so, why do you think they were here or aliens? If so, why do you think they were here or aliens? Oh wait, I'm sorry. If so, why do they think we're here or are they still here? Okay, why do I think that they were here or are still here? Did they help us become more advanced as a civilization? Well, they were here for the same reason that I have geckos and hamsters. When you want to be fulfilled as a person, you want to improve your own self, but you also want to improve the situation around you and the immediate vicinity. You're not going to be truly happy. Like happy life, happy wife. You're not going to be happy unless your wife is happy or if your roommate is happy. Or, so as soon as you get your house in order, get other people's houses in order. And I think that's what the aliens were doing. They're trying to get other people's houses in order. They live in our galactic neighborhood, and they wanted to have us as trading partners and stuff. And so they wanted to bring us to their level. And so they come over here and they try to help us out. That's why they do it. And also to learn. They're curiosity. They'd want to fly around and check it out. It's interesting. It's fun to learn new things. Did they help us become more advanced as a civilization? Did they help us? Yeah, they helped us become more advanced as a civilization. They gave us all of the numbers from the beginning of history. Like the 60 numbers based on 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. All that stuff is from the Sumerians, which was like 3000 BC. 5,000 years ago. The very beginning. The pantheon of the gods had all the traditions and all that stuff. Laws, law codes, and everything. It all builds up. It all builds off each other, and you can trace stuff back. Really, I think if the video camera battery is dead enough, you can't. Even if it's plugged in, it's too dead and it died. So, but anyways, I'm back. So yeah, what I was saying is, you can trace stuff back a long time, like the architecture of Germany, those big, tall, like A-frame type houses. You could kind of imagine them making tall A-frame looking like logs leaned up against trees, back when they were barbarians, and this stuff carries on down. So, yeah, all the little things we learned from them, horticulture, growing grains, making all the stuff like that. Anyway, that's another video. You got like lots of different topics or lots of different videos all here. Okay, now I'm trying to get back. Okay, so let's see. The last few hundred years seem to be the most technologically advancing period of human civilization. Which begs the question, why is that? Also, how much... Okay, got so many random questions. Okay, yeah, last couple hundred years was the most technologically advancing period of humanization. And why is that? And what does it have to do with aliens? Well, I think basically what happened with the last few hundred years being so much growth is once you get to a saturation point on something, it transforms. And I think we got to that point when the age of exploration, the age of colonialism, when we traveled all over the world and we had all of these different cultures communicating with each other, that sparked an interest in learning more and more, and then people, and then of course the needs brings the necessity, or the necessity is the mother of all invention. So they started, bringing all these new, corn and potatoes and stuff to Europe, And so then they could increase the population, and now they have more population, so then they need to mine more, and then they invent the mining machines, and it just kind of started this snowball effect. So and of course, us traveling all over the world, that was a long time coming. It just took a long time, and then finally when that happened, boom, all this invention. One big invention that could have started, that a lot of people say started, that was a printing press back in like 1430. With Gutenberg in Germany, after they started printing the Bible, and then people started thinking for themselves with the Reformation, and then sharing knowledge. You can really explode in knowledge that way. So as soon as you allow people to share knowledge, boom, nuclear explosion. And also the whole cosmic thing. We were, maybe the aliens have been pushing us along. They give us a little bit. They know exactly what's going to happen in the future, because the parallel universe is looking in the future, so they can nudge us along by giving us a technology at certain periods, and then knowing that we can go forward. I think after World War II, they gave us a lot of technology from the gray aliens. After the Roswell crash, they gave us. That's with the computer chips and Kevlar vests and all sorts of new technology came after that. Okay, also, how much alcohol do you drink? I actually drank last night. I drink like maybe once every 3 weeks or something. Or less. I pretty much don't drink. Have you ever been an alcoholic? No. I remember back in my 20s I would like crave like beer or whatever, but I don't get like that anymore. I'm a stoner. What do you think of anxiety disorders such as social anxiety and generalized anxiety? And do you have you ever experienced any such anxiety issues in your lifetime? What do I think of anxiety disorders such as social anxiety? Yeah, people getting anxious. Social anxiety, like they don't want to go to the party and stuff, makes them nervous, or they're just nervous and anxious. I think that's related to your ego. It's comparing yourself to other people, and not in a selfish way, and not just being able to relax in the world and not compare yourself to other people, and just be you, and to do what you want to do at the best rate that you can. As soon as you get cynical and compare yourself, and then start thinking, I didn't accomplish this, I didn't accomplish that, and then it adds stress, and then you want to accomplish more, but you can't relax in the moment, so you go off and you start doing things that you think are good, that are fun, but they only think they're fun because it's what people around you do, So people who can't really think for themselves, can't be, aren't comfortable in their own skin. Have I experienced any anxiety issues in my lifetime? A lot less now than before. I've been out of the loop. I haven't been in school or in some job with the same people all day, every day, and big social structure. I haven't been like that. So I've kind of lived in my own rhythm, and I haven't been stressed out at all. You get stressed out when you're around other people that are stressed out. Like my mom, she's stressed out all the time. And when I was living with her, it freaks me out, and it makes me angry and stressed out. So I haven't really been anxiety and since I was in college or whatever, where there's other people, and then they're all anxious, and then it gets you anxious, and so no. And I definitely don't now. But yeah, if you don't want to be anxious, do something. You got to open your mind. It all boils down to having a closed mind. If you're like, oh, I don't want to do that because I just don't do it. Well, have you ever done it? No. Well, how do you know you don't want to do it? Oh, I don't ever want to do it because I know I never want to do it. Well, maybe if you try it, you like it. Oh, no, you don't. Yeah. It's like, all right, well, fuck you then. Stop bothering me. I tried to help you. Yeah, you just try to get somebody interested in something else. And then you'll see stress and anxiety and that kind of stuff. It comes from stagnation and not doing anything and being stuck. As long as you're moving and you're experiencing something else, something new, you're always going to be happy. Okay. Okay, thanks for listening to my question and hope to see a reply video in the near future. You have a fantastic, and I can't wait for your timeline. Da 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 da. Kiss, okay, what kind of work do you prefer to do? If I had the choice to do what I really wanted to do and get paid for it, what would I do? I'd be an educational materials developer. I'd work on my timeline, and then of course, consolidating information like political stuff, information about politicians, and just in a way that's cool to look at, and you can get all the information down there on one page at one time. People aren't into that yet. People still think that you're supposed to like design websites like for 3-year-olds, where the font's really big and you only say there's only enough room for 30 words in the whole page, and you can only put one picture because it's just too much. Well, I think in the future people will be able to handle more information, and I want to provide that information, because all the problems with the world these days, like the politicians arguing with each other, they're arguing shit that they shouldn't argue. It should be common knowledge, No way, this money goes to that. No, wrong, that money goes to that. It's like, you guys are a bunch of fucking morons. Like, you get your information straight, and then we can have an actual conversation about stuff. So yeah, I'd be an educational information, and I'd make tests. I'd make like workbooks, or what do you call them? Textbooks for school, and tests and all that kind of stuff. That's what I would do. All right, peace out.